So what is mobility and flexibility training? So I've lumped them into the same group because they are related, but they are slightly different. So flexibility is the ability of your muscle to lengthen, and mobility is the ability of your joint to actually move through its range of motion. So for a range of motion or mobility might be how well can your arm actually rotate through the whole joint capsule of the movement, whereas a flexibility thing would be how far back can your arm actually go. So often when people think of flexibility, especially if you're over the age of 25, is are you able to touch your toes? And the reason that you think that that's really the only way you can be flexible is because that's the test they gave you when you were in high school. But that's really not true. Mobility and flexibility really affects every muscle and every joint in your body. So it's important when you're doing a flexibility or mobility program that you are moving every single part of your body and not just doing the toe touch stretch. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in this lecture. So there are 4 ways that you can increase your mobility and your flexibility. The first way is to do a static stretch. The next way is a dynamic stretch. You can do rolling out or foam rolling, and then doing activities like yoga or strength training can actually improve your flexibility and your mobility. So why would you want to improve your flexibility and your mobility? Sometimes being inflexible or not very mobile or immobile means that you can have a greater chance of joint pain. It can mean that you have lowered function, so doing things like tying your shoes or swinging a golf club might be very challenging for you. And if that's the case, then you want to improve your mobility and your flexibility, or over time you want to continue to maintain your flexibility and your mobility so that as you get older, these types of activities don't become harder for you to do. So when should you do mobility training? I always recommend that you do stretching or other types of mobility movements at the end of a workout. So after you've done a strength training program or a cardiovascular program, your muscles are really warm and they're pliable and they move a lot easier than if you're cold or you haven't done anything to warm up. So what happens is when you stretch a muscle after it's already warm, then it stretches much further and you get a lot more benefit out of it. So it doesn't matter what time of day it is as long as you're actually doing it while your muscles are still warm. So if you're not doing a cardiovascular program or a strength training program and you're doing an activity like yoga, or every couple of days you just like to do stretches just to maintain your mobility, then I would actually recommend doing a couple of strength exercises first just to get your muscles a little bit warmed up. Most of the time you'll want to spend about 5 to 10 minutes doing mobility and flexibility training. This isn't a hard and fast rule, and everybody's a little bit different. So there's a good chance that you have areas where you know you're tight and you know that you don't move very well. So I would recommend doing those exercises that affect those muscles every time or every chance that you do a strength training workout. So often what happens when you're exercising is that you feel like you don't get as much benefit out of the mobility training as you do in the cardiovascular training or the strength training, which may have some truth to it because you'll never reduce your chance of getting a heart attack from doing stretching, but you will reduce your chance of having a heart attack if you go for a walk. So maybe it is a little bit less effective or less beneficial from a broader standpoint. But if you focus on what it's actually good for, which is reducing soreness or making you move better and being able to make you do activities better, then that can help keep you motivated to do it and not skip it when you get to the end of your workout.